Well, hello everyone. Here to show you right here is the business newspaper post right here, and you see some of this Photoshop work right here. I went and put together using InDesign right here. Print this off. This right here is example right here of me, and then this right here is example of somebody that I could be working with right here. And you have right here for web development, and then you have this writing right here. If this is right here, it's supposed to be a example right here for like anything about business reasons about that, exactly about web development. That a website for the professionals managed, and then for visitors to understand a little bit more about the reasons of the business, and then the main reason is for the website to go by the requirements. So it's like if you're like wanting to where that the way I painted this right here is to where it shows right here is like an example right here of me that looks like me right there about 7 years from now, that 7 years from now, that getting into any source of printing business or doing any source of business online, to where that be working and managing with the coding. And then this right here, this side of this business paper right here, is it shows right here is for the graduation right here for bachelor's degree. I'm sure most of us have seen this already, and I even have it up in the art store. But you see right here, this is the work that I was working on today. And you can see right here that you include office, and how many of us are going to maybe dream about having our own offices? I'm like, have it to our office online, and to where the office to where that while I was working on this too, a lot of other things that maybe I was thinking that you'll go and add some shadows in the background, maybe add like a little artistic background right there, but still that the way this turned out right here, that I was pretty impressed with that just by, is that right there is me right there. It's like, I got the dark hair and, glasses, and like say, you look a little bit like a businessman right there. And if anybody weren't toward the type of business are you thinking that you would like to get into one of these days? And I'm like, well, but still that the purpose about being a designer, that with a designer like me, that if anybody were to want toward it, that it's not just about the drawing skill. If anybody say that you draw pictures and about almost everything, if it's instruction manuals, or maybe if it's postal dispatches, or like newspaper ads or anything like that, all what you do is just draw. But the purpose about being a designer, of course, is like anybody would maybe think that really, that could it be about getting somebody's attention, about word about getting somebody's attention, that really that it's basically that knowing your operating system also, and knowing your printer. So when we print out stuff, the type of technology that's in the printer to allows it to where that this is your work right here that was created on a program, but then you're able to print it off with the type of printer you have, to have the type of ink, and as well as the type of a technology that you have just to be able to do that. And back those couple years ago, it may require maybe the special kind of equipment that maybe not everybody would have access to it at home. But still, that nowadays it seems like that we would have access to a lot of this stuff at home, because you're like, say that unless if you had to go to an office or maybe a certain area where they had the right printers and then the right equipment just to be able to scan, and if it's a passports, or if it's anything like that, any confirmation data or anything like that, anything such as computation or something like that. But anyway, but you have right here's the writing skills right here, and with the writing skill that they talk about for digital design, it's like learning about that how a file is created and designed, using the amount of pixels in order to finally the furnish and work at the published work. So this right here was supposed to be like a newspaper right here, and with this newspaper that talks about designing work, that if we're talking about the type of designing work that that with digital technology, that a lot of this stuff can be done on the computer, such as changing the pixels. And on this page right here that I included like a HTML document, so that if most of us have used like Dreamweaver or other programs to where you would use coding settings, to where you have right there for the open and closing tabs, to welcome to our professional team, right there. And then you have right here's margin left at 350 pixels, and then the flow is 40 pixels, and the background is 14 pixels, right there. Graphic design. So yeah, that just to understand a little bit more about the skill right there. But I just really think though that the whole purpose about being a designer is getting to know getting to know the professionals and how you use the program. And so if anybody were to think that why does that seem so complicated to anybody else, like if you're going to be a mechanic, and let's just say if you're introduced to a new program, that you really need to know exactly the files. And as of right now, that this will be example right here of me within 7 years from now. As of right now, that I would mainly be in charge of what you call that, if it's anything about keeping the files safe and stored and keeping them updated, and as well as anything about information that needs to be created using programs like Illustrator and Photoshop before that they are published online. So it seems like to where that understanding a little bit more about graphic design and then digital design compared to web development. And so that's just a thing about is to we're looking at a paper like this right here for business reasons. That whenever I look at this picture, painting right here, the Photoshop work, and one thing I have learned, I can tell anybody here that one thing I have learned since I've been a digital design artist is that learning how to make duplicates, because that about nowadays with a lot of our computers that what is the main reason to why that really can that easily be done on a calculator? If you're going to be and nowadays with calculators nowadays that you can maybe program if you're doing like any type of source of long division problems, if you're trying to solve a few long division problems, and let's just say that you have a type of calculator to where you can program it to where it would divide automatically. You just got to program it right, but still, the things that are done automatically, and if anybody were to say that if they're going to be used to a program that they like that to where they set the program to where it's automatically done, to where that if you're going to be working something online, that it automatically puts in the columns. If this was supposed to be like a document right here, that if you gotta write in some documentation, or maybe if you had to do changing inside the pixels of the document, or post or anything like that. But for digital design is to where they're making this stuff available for the websites. So if any clients were to want to where that if they were go to a certain website, and then they're like say that that they seen the ads in the paper, and then that they were like that these ads would say something like such as hey, you want to work with some real talented people, hey, that are you pretty creative, are you pretty confident with working with other businesses of some kind, and that you have 4 years of experience. So yeah, a lot of these ads would look something kind of like this, to where they would say a few words, but then by the time you actually talk to the people that talk to the person who's at the business, and then they tell a little bit more, but still that I guess ads are mainly made to get the person's attention, and yeah, that this person that reads that sees that ad, and anybody that wanders us toward it, I guess is it the main important reason about having a business ad or business card is to where that if the idea works, if you're looking for something, or maybe if you're just trying to get somebody's attention, hey, if you want to announce a new product, or maybe a new skill that we have to offer on our software, so you're just like thinking about as to where to, if you had your own desk at home in your own bedroom, if you had somewhere, if anybody were wanting to ask the question to where that, would you rather be taking care of your bills, or like say, know about it? The question I was thinking about really that was is to where that would you rather be paying your bills and trying to figure out your financial situation, or would you rather be figuring out how a program works, how the software program? Because if anybody say you could be paying bills all day, you can maybe be spending all day on programs like InDesign and Photoshop just to try to make something that's recommended absolute, and try to make it absolutely perfect and all that. But really, does that require a team, or does that just to say that yeah, that requires just this one person right here? Yeah, you, Matthew. Yeah, that this right here, that if anybody were warned to where that's supposed to be you right there. That look at that picture. That right there is supposed to be my business photo right there. But then let's just say this work right here is supposed to be me on graduation day. Graduation afternoon, I should say. That half the time, if anybody warns us that, why is it that the graduation picture looks different compared to your business picture? So we're like warned toward it. Maybe because the cap and gown is just not there, not wearing the cap and gown, or if it's all because it's to where you're growing a little bit taller and older, or maybe that you gained up more skills as a professional. But still, that right there is what I would look like within the near future, is working in my own office, and then this was supposed to be like a newspaper design right here. And talk about for digital design as well, a typographical type work right there, where it's like it shows the different highlights. But anyway, but there you have it, talking about for business reasons and for web development, and talk about understanding about the World Wide Web also. But anyway, but it's like, since I was a kid, yeah, I want to say for A plus student A plus, since I was a kid, I want to go for the best score, and writing right there. But other than that, if anybody were warned to where that you can buy some of these prints, from the Kuros Art Store, that go there and you'll be able to find that my prints there. But anyway, most recent update prints. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Talk about web development, and have a great day.